Watch Hornaday jump, make it 3 wide here, gets into Caroga, turns him around, much like Chase Elliott turned Ty Dillon around.
We talked about you slow down to 45 miles an hour, somebody's going to get mad. And look how mad Armand is. He tried to go after those guys.
Pretty wild battle here. Coming to 2 to go. 17 of Stenhouse does a slide job on Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, he kind of could have pushed the issue there. And look, it ends up costing him another position.
Well, I think it cost Stenhouse too.
Yeah, they each lose a spot to Kyle Busch, and
a little frustration.
That's on the cool-down lap, where things weren't cooled down. And they had a discussion about it behind the pit wall afterward.
Fifth time this season, a driver's been a first-time winner. Tempers after the race, after that last huge crash. Greg Biffle, Boris said. And I tell you that cooler heads prevailed, but I'm not sure that's actually the case yet. Shannon?
Nick Harrison, crew chief for Boris, said, obviously we saw Boris involved in that last accident with David Reagan, but you said that may not have been the reason that led to the altercation with Greg Biffle. What did cause that?
The altercation with Biffle, Boris has had a problem with, actually I think Biffle's had a problem with Boris from a previous race, so leading into this race, they already had some aggression towards each other. Early in the race, Biffle had ran out of gas and was on multiple laps down and was racing Boris. As Boris thought dirty, so Boris relayed a message to the spotter that he wanted to meet him after the race. And the deal with the 6 car was just hard racing. I think Boris just got into him, and that was a really ugly wreck. And I think that was just hard racing, but Greg Biffle and Boris said have some problems there, and Boris wanted to handle it with his fist, so that's what was going on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Shannon, thanks. Boris said we caught him earlier for this comment.
Walk us through those last couple laps, because clearly it was a little chaotic.
It was crazy. I mean, the last lap, the 6 car was getting into me a lot, and I didn't want to wreck him. It just, I had to stay on the track, and he didn't give me any room. It just, you know, we both collided. That's the only thing I feel bad about. I'm more upset with Greg Biffle. He's the most unprofessional little scaredy cat I've ever seen in my life. He wouldn't even fight me like a man after. So if someone texts me his address, I'll go see him Wednesday at his house and show him what he really needs. He needs a friggin' whooping, and I'm going to give it to him. He was flipping me off, giving the finger, totally unprofessional, 2 laps down. I mean, he's a chump.
Well, we saw what happened, and walk us through exactly what happened in the garage, so we kind of walked in the middle.
I went over there to go talk to him. He wouldn't even let me get out of the car, and he comes over and throws a few little baby punches, and then when I get out, he runs away and hides behind some big guys. But he won't hide from me long. I'll find him. I won't settle it out in the track. It's not right to wreck cars, but he'll show up at a race with a black eye one of these days. I'll see him somewhere.
That was ESPN The Magazine reporter Ryan McGee.
Here come Logano and Kyle Busch for third.
3 wide going in there to turn 3.
This is going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly down here, boys.
And Busch is around. Martin Truex's money in Las Vegas. He wins. Kyle Busch slides down the pit road, and teammates are side by side at the finish for 4th.
17.
Well, Brett is back there because of the accident that involved Irwin and Stewart. And a few minutes ago, Brett also took out his frustrations on Kenny.
Thing about these brief rain delays, the drivers get a chance to get out of their car and talk to their teams. They also get a chance to talk to other drivers. Tony Stewart and David Rudiman were having a kind of reasonable conversation, and then one of David's crew chimed in, and then things got a little bit heated.
Not sure what's going on there. There's certainly a crew member is not happy with smoke. David's trying to get in the middle. Oh, the crew member kissed the ground.
Let's find out a little more on this story, Matt.
And we talked about a lot of different updates that take place during the break. And for Tony Stewart, you had a conversation with David Rudeman. What did it concern?
Just being smart out there. I mean, we caught him and he raced us real hard, and we got 425. We had 425 miles left in the race at that point, and it's just kind of questioning why he's racing us that hard. I mean, you know it's a long day, and you know when guys are in front of you are running him down, and he's racing everybody like it's a nationwide race, and this isn't a nationwide race. This isn't a nationwide series, and you know when it comes down to the end and it's time to go race, you race hard. But you know there's 43 of us out here, and we all have to work together, and he's having a hard time understanding that, I think. I mean, he says he gets it, but if he gets it, he's holding up a whole line of cars every time they get to him. It just gets frustrating. Then he's got a bald crew guy down there that wants to jump up there and be Billy Bad Butt. Maybe he needs to ride in there with him since they both seem to have it all figured out together.
All right, thanks, Smoke.
Thank you.
Did, you know, things just like what he did with David Rudeman, and that's good. That's good information for David Rudeman. Hey, dude, don't race hard right now. Let's get work together. Maybe you wouldn't have all those marks down the side of your car if you'd think about it a little bit. So,
well, here's where he's been sliding every time.
Well,
he does it again.
This is what caused Casey Kane to get cracked. He kind of got nudged by Ryan Newman. He might not be happy about it.
We'll keep an eye on it, but.
I think he's not happy at all about it.
Oh, yeah, he's letting them know.
Good call there, Andy.
And what's that done is allowed Boyer and the two to come through.
Coming by.
And here we told you we'd keep a camera on this because Ryan and Casey are going to have a discussion. Remember, these guys go back to days when they were running sprints and midgets.
Byron able to get by Priest. Now he has smooth sailing in front of him as he goes to the wall. Here comes Sadler. Sadler gets into the back of the 18. They stay straight. Sadler even touched the wall.
There's the 99 of Eric Darnell. Watch this now, bottom of your screen. The 9 and the 21 got loose, and when he turned to try to chase it up the hill to get it straight, Ted was there in the right rear corner of the 21, caught the left front corner of Ted and just turned Kelly directly into the wall. And then Ted obviously is so upset about it, he's going to run up here and just drive into the door of the 21 to show his displeasure.
It was a racing thing. I mean, Kelly Byers had nothing. His truck got loose. Ted Musgrave was just on the outside of him. It was obviously not.
A little discussion here between Paul Menard in the 15 car and 20, Denny Hamlin. Let's listen in on the radios.
Okay. The 15, tell him I've caught him 50 times. Get out of the way.
And what Denny's talking about right here is Paul Menard passed him on a restart on the outside. And Denny feels like he's got a faster car, and now he's a little aggravated that Paul won't yield to him and give him the spot back. Hey, don't forget about me.
Kyle said, while you guys play with each other, I'm going to...
Here we go. That's right.
Here we go. Oh,
he's got him jacked up right here. This could be dangerous if he does this going in the corner.
Hamlin underneath the back of the 15. It goes high. Hamlin will try to take the spot away, but Paul Menard's pretty darn stout on the straightaways. Here he comes.
Uh-oh, boys. I tell you what, this is going to be big.
You pull a move like that, you better be able to get going.
Well, guys, the team of Paul Menard is so upset right now, but they're applauding their driver holding up Denny Hamlin. I guess this little grudge match between Denny Hamlin and Paul Menard goes back 2 years. So Paul Menard responding to that radio comment by Denny Hamlin. He said he's just mad because I'm faster than him.
this is after the race.
And he gets him on the top.
Oh, he brake checked him.
And Jeff's arms out the window. And there's Rusty's response. Steve?
Rusty, what'd you say to Jeff? Get out of here.
In the garage, everyone's known it for months. It's not 2 weeks old. This is something that's been going on for months. They've been warned for a long time, way before Richmond. So this is not something that, oh man, we got, you know, they just told us halfway after Richmond and going in the Loudon that our car's wrong. They knew it was wrong way before that, you know, and I felt like they wanted to get everything they could. You know, what did they have to lose, really? So, you know, you almost can't fault them for that.
Well, let's flash forward to Saturday morning's practice. Kevin Harvick, one of the Childress drivers, follows Denny Hamlin out onto the racetrack and basically appears to be trying to send a message.
He is upset.
I don't like what you said, I think was the message. A little contact, a little more contact, a little more contact out on the racetrack. Both drivers called off the track by NASCAR into the garage where discussion ensued.
Boys having a little bit of a heated debate on territory there. And, you know, it's very difficult when you're making the implication that someone else is cheating. It goes to the core. And what happened in this instance, as we saw with the fines and penalties, NASCAR has called.
Well, this is the post-race discussion between Eric Almirola and Justin Allgaier, and we show you exactly why they're having this discussion one more time.
Well, they were battling hard on the racetrack, and then
this is after the race.
This is after the race. Justin Allgaier went up to show his displeasure with the way that Almirola made the pass on him.
Wrong with that, man. We'll work on getting home.
And did you have issues with Ty Bodine as well? We saw something at the end of the race.
Yeah, I don't know if the spotter wasn't watching or what, but I went in on the outside of him into turn one, and he drove me clean into the fence. So over there talking to him about it, and like normal, he doesn't know what he did or understand what happened. I'm over there yelling at him, and he thought it was from the lap before. So he just doesn't have a clue sometimes. It took us out of a good finish, but just part of it. We'll be back next week.
Top 14, top 12 for most of the first part, and we had the loose wheel, which is just racing, man. That happens, but, you know, 2 weeks in a row. I know he doesn't have many races, and I like him a lot normally, but right now I'm going to knock the hell out of him. The first time he gave me a flat. The second time he says he blew a tire. But, you know, if you know you got a tire going, then don't drive underneath somebody. I'm really, last couple weeks been driven with no respect, and you know, we put ourselves back in a decent spot, and we'll go to Road America. We're going to win that sucker.
And Brad Keselowski, he was upset. That's him walking over to Matt Kenseth, and Kenseth at the time leading blocking.
Watch this. The two just brake checked the 20 right there. And then here comes Dale Jr. He can't stop. Now he's hot. And he's going to go up here, and he's going to give Keselowski a piece of his mind.
Everybody got a little piece of everybody.
But watch, Chris, as they exit turn two, he's able just to close that door on Keselowski. He didn't run him out of room. He just closed the door. I think Brad didn't really, you're going to have emotions late in the race like this. I don't think he had really a leg to stand on that argument because Matt's leading the race. He's doing all he can do.
The incident with Crafton and Colin Brown, this was on lap 91. Colin Brown gets into the back of him, Crafton into the wall. So damage, and that brought out our 7th caution of the day.
Yeah, this is later on. Matt Crafton comes back on the racetrack. He's going to let Colin Brown know that he didn't appreciate that being run into like that. Makes a little bit of contact, and this is right after the race when Matt Crafton's going to come over in person and tell Colin Brown that he didn't appreciate what happened.
Well, you know, Colin got to the back of him, which was bad, but darn, he didn't let him go. He hit him again.
We're going back to green flag racing, and this time, look out, crash on the front straightaway. Clint gets collected. Oh, the 98, and the 99 of Trevor Bayne.
Some hard licks right there.
McCumbee in the 09 also involved. Let's go back and see if we can see what happens here. There's Hamlin. Here comes Boyer.
Yeah, he's coming out of the pits from where they were working on the car. Makes a hard right here.
Huh.
Show his displeasure with what happened on that last
he saw
start.
As intentional.
Into the 4-car, and cars just. Well, we have a skirmish down in the pit area. Some tempers are flaring. It's a rather warm day here, and when you get to Bristol, things do happen. Ray Dunlap. Well, Bob, it's a mess down here. That's all I can tell you. Mike Dillon is not happy at all. He and Michael Waltrip had quite a little bit of a skirmish down here.
Whoa, contact there. Brian Vickers pushing Matt Kenseth. Martinsville payback issued at Phoenix.
It sure was. That's all that was. Yeah, you can see Matt. He had his foot on the brake. Yeah, Matt was basically going to let him get by.
Jimmy.
And Brian Vickers, with whom he tangled pretty severely a couple of races ago at Martinsville. I don't think there's much question about that.